Hello, future space explorers and curious minds. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered if there's anyone else out there? Or if life could exist on a planet far, far away? Well, today we're going on an incredible journey to explore just that. We're going to dive into a super cool science called astrobiology. Astrobiology is like being a cosmic detective. It's the study of life in the universe, and that includes searching for life beyond our amazing Earth. It also helps us understand how life might be able to survive and thrive on other planets, even in places we might think are impossible. Our adventure today is inspired by the work of a real-life explorer, Dr. McKay. He's a brilliant scientist who studies some of the most extreme places on Earth to help us understand what life might be like on other planets, especially Mars. Imagine that. Studying our own planet to learn about another. It's all part of answering that big, exciting question. Is there life on other planets? Before we blast off further into our exploration, let's learn some important words that will help us understand our journey. Think of these as your astronaut vocabulary tools. First up is insight. Can you say that with me? Insight. Insight means a clear or complete understanding of a situation. It's like when you're working on a puzzle and suddenly all the pieces click, and you have an insight into how to finish it. For example, Dr. McKay gained valuable insights about Mars by studying places on Earth. Next, we have wandered. This means to walk slowly or aimlessly. Imagine you're exploring a new park, not really going anywhere specific, just wandering around and enjoying the sights. Dr. McKay might have wandered through the dry valleys, observing everything around him. Our third word is passage. Passage. A passage is a section of written or printed text. When you read a book, you read different passages or paragraphs. In our reading material, there was a passage that described how the dry valleys are similar to Mars. Then there's adventure. Adventure. This is an exciting or unusual experience. Going on a big trip to a new place or even trying a new sport can be an adventure. Dr. McKay's journey to Antarctica was definitely an adventure because it was a remote and challenging place to visit. And finally, curious. Curious. This means having an interest in learning about something. If you're curious, you ask lots of questions and love to discover new things. Dr. McKay is very curious about whether life could exist on Mars, which is why he does all his amazing research. Are you curious about space? I bet you are. These words will help us understand our journey even better. Let's see how they fit into Dr. McKay's incredible work. Now, let's travel to one of the most incredible and extreme places on our own planet, Antarctica's dry valleys. Imagine a place on Earth that is so cold and dry, it looks like another planet. That's exactly what the dry valleys are like. They are huge ice-free areas in Antarctica, and they are among the most extreme environments you can find anywhere on Earth. Scientists like Dr. McKay study these valleys because they hold important clues about what life might be like elsewhere in the universe. Let's learn some fascinating facts about them. First, it's extremely cold and dry there. It hardly ever snows, and even when it does, the air is so freezing that the snow almost never melts. It just stays there, frozen solid. Second, during the Antarctic summer, the sun is up 24 hours a day. Can you imagine never seeing the sunset? But don't let that fool you. It's still incredibly cold. Then, during the Antarctic winter from April to September, the valleys are in complete darkness. That's a long time without sunlight. And here's another amazing fact. You won't find a single scraggly weed or tiny insect visible anywhere. It's a truly barren landscape. Dr. McKay himself said, "The dry valleys are like Mars. Both are cold and dry. It hardly ever snows in the dry valleys, and when it does, the air is so cold that very little snow ever melts. Mars is even colder and drier." So these valleys are not just a wonder of our world. They are a living laboratory that helps us understand the mysteries of space. Now for the really exciting part. We've learned about Antarctica's dry valleys, and Dr. McKay told us they are like Mars. Let's put on our comparison goggles and see just how similar and how different these two incredible places are. Think of it like this. The dry valleys are Earth's closest cousin to Mars. By studying what happens in the dry valleys, scientists can get a better insight into what might be happening on the red planet. Let's compare some features. First, Temperature. Both places are very, very cold. But Mars? It's even colder than the dry valleys. Imagine temperatures so low that water would instantly freeze solid. Next, moisture. The dry valleys are incredibly dry with hardly any precipitation. But Mars takes dryness to a whole new level. It's even drier. This means very little liquid water, which is usually essential for life as we know it. What about snow and ice? In the dry valleys, snow rarely melts. It just sits there, frozen. On Mars, you'll find ice too, but it's not just water ice. There's also frozen carbon dioxide, which we call dry ice. It's like a giant planetary freezer. And finally, visible life. In the dry valleys, we saw that there's no visible life. No plants, no insects. It's a stark, barren landscape. On Mars so far, scientists haven't detected any visible life either. But that doesn't mean it's not there, perhaps hidden deep underground or in microscopic forms. That's what astrobiologists are curious about. So why is this comparison so important? Because by understanding how life, or even just tiny microbes, can survive in the harsh conditions of the dry valleys, scientists gain crucial insights into where and how to look for life on Mars. It's like a practice run for exploring other planets. Wow, what an adventure we've had today. We've journeyed from our own planet to the mysterious red planet Mars, all through the lens of astrobiology. Let's quickly review what we've learned. We discovered that astrobiology is the exciting science of studying life in the universe, including the search for life beyond Earth. We met Dr. McKay, a scientist who is super curious about life on Mars and studies extreme environments on Earth like Antarctica's dry valleys to find insights. We also learned some important vocabulary words: insight, wandered, passage, adventure, and curious. These words helped us understand our reading and Dr. McKay's incredible work. We took a close look at Antarctica's dry valleys, a place on Earth that is so cold and dry it's almost like Mars. We saw how studying these valleys gives us clues about what conditions might be like on other planets. And finally, we compared the dry valleys to Mars, seeing how similar they are in terms of temperature, dryness, and the absence of visible life. This comparison helps scientists understand where to look for signs of life on Mars. So what do you think? Do you believe there's life out there beyond Earth? The universe is a vast and amazing place full of wonders waiting to be discovered. Keep being curious, keep exploring, and who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one to make the next big discovery. Thanks for joining us on this astrobiology adventure. See you next time, future scientists.